welcome to our latest podcast, and we are delighted today to have a husband and wife partnership, Steve and Cath Richmond. So welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah.
And obviously, together with my son there, Matthew, we're going to try and tease a couple of things out of Steve and Cath.
Yeah, well.
So the reason we asked you to come on is because both of you both independently run a business each, yeah?
That's right.
Okay. And just for the thing, Caring Laundry is run by yourself, Cath?
It is.
Yeah. And then Richmond Carpets.
The Richmond Carpets.
Yeah, is run by
myself.
Are you sure she didn't help you in that one?
No, it does do.
So, you're busy individuals running two businesses as a family. That's got to take some time out for your days. But somehow you've got involved in this game of bowls.
Yes.
And how did that come about then?
Well, I know. Obviously, my connection with the club with a lot of ex-Christchurch cricketers who've gone to play bowls. And Rob Sherrard rang me up. He was manager in a care home down in Hendy. And he said, Steve, can you help me out? I can get over to do a job in the home he was managing. And so I said, Rob, where is it? He says, just off the M4. There's quite a few rooms here. So I said, yeah, no problem. So we went down there. We started to do a couple of rooms and a few more rooms and a few more rooms. And it ended up being a really nice job. So as a reward, Nick Dowell got hold of me and said, look, Rob's giving you a nice job and you've completed, and would you be interested in sponsoring the Bowls Club? And that's where I come down to the AGM. I think I started by you.
Well, you did indeed, yeah.
I was introduced to the club. I had no intention of ever playing bowls. My intention was to come there, put a nice little contribution in, like we do with different sports in the area. And that was the end of it.
Okay.
But little did we know.
So we thought.
So what happened then? We'll come back to the sort of the little bit of sponsorship. We want to talk a lot about that, and that's the purpose of this podcast really, is to put the message out there to other businesses who might have bowls clubs in their area, of the benefits or the negative aspects of maybe sponsoring the bowls clubs.
Benefits for that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And we'll cover that in a second. Yeah. So the bowls, so you come back from the meeting, you told Cath, and what happened there then?
There were a couple of people who was probably Nick the most, kept nagging us and said, come down, have a try, you like it, we thought, where can we fit this in? Can we fit it in, And so after a couple of months, we thought, oh, come on, let's just go down and see what it's all about. Okay. And that was it. We just
from the get.
We were there.
Straight away.
Absolutely hooked.
Well, we know how much you love playing.
I love it.
Well, yeah, we've got a couple of things. Because Steve, you've been heavily involved with cricket. Yeah, you played for Wales over 60s. Yeah. And you currently still are a WRU ref for your sins. You're at your age, and now you do it. Line fair play. But Cath, we see Cath on the Bowls Club quite often, don't we, Cath? You absolutely love this game. So, what is it about the game that you just grasped it and want to play all the time?
I think what it was is I've never been into sports at all. I watch sports, but I've never really participated in it. And I've never really found anything that appealed to me. Certainly not a runner or anything, And so obviously I've been a spectator because of Stephen all his involvement with sports, watching the cricket, watching in referee and things like that. And this came along and I got into it and I thought, this really suits me. It was just everything that I wanted, it's good exercise, good meeting other people. And a lot of it was to do with, I probably spent, I'd say all our married life, apart from when we were on holiday, on my own on a Saturday. So I used to make that my own. It'd become a shopping day or a crafting day. Yeah. So all of a sudden, and I had this interest, and I thought, well, he's doing something on a Saturday, and I can go and do play bowls. And it just fell in exactly where I wanted it to be. It just fell in perfectly.
And the rest is history. Because
yeah.
you absolutely, we know that you absolutely love this game.
I adore it.
You're an individual, as a character. Everybody loves you down there. You're full of fun. You've got some quirky little hats that you wear and different things. Yeah. Even through a finger injury, you carried on trying to bowl, didn't you?
I still have that. I still have the finger.
Yeah, that's not a bird to anybody. That's just the finger she's showing.
That is the finger.
Steve gets that on the Saturday night, doesn't he?
Yeah, Saturday afternoon as well.
So
every day.
Yeah. So and the social. So let's move on from there. You both thrown yourself into the club, and hopefully with Steve maybe, as he's getting a little bit older now and maybe not playing that cricket and
trying to persuade him.
You might play a bit more, but you do play quite a bit.
Yeah,
you do play.
Yeah, I do play more. Enter all the competitions.
I know you beat me last year. So you did beat me last year.
I enjoy playing on the midweek league.
And you've beat me only once. Very competitive between us. We go down for a little roll.
I was going to say, right, on the flip side, you've very heavily been into sport all your life. So how has it been, kind of that transition? Obviously, you love sports, all sports. So what was that like transition into bowls? Was it just another sport that you enjoyed to play? Or?
The first time I took bowls was with a pinch of salt. I didn't realise, right, that it was a really competitive team game. And I was a bit blasé to start off, I think. But when I got to learn about what I like about the bowl is every point matters. It's a really good team game, and it's competitive, so it's very similar to other sports, to be honest. It's very similar to cricket. You're part of the team, you've got to do your job, haven't you? So and socially it's been great as well. In fact, it's a sport I'd probably gone to play. I don't wake up the next day feeling my body's in bits. That's nice too.
That's a nice feeling.
That's a nice feeling.
We know how much bowls has kind of become part of both of your guys' life. And obviously, not only playing it at the club now, but also obviously being generous enough to donate some of them, some of the sponsors to the clubs and get things for the clubs themselves. So kind of let's dive into that little bit of sponsor. So obviously you talked a little bit about kind of how you started sponsoring, but what really persuaded you? Kind of go through that story again and kind of just delve in. Was it really
it's
like
nice. We've always sponsored local sport with a cricket club and Coca-Cola and other organisations.
Yeah.
So I feel if the opportunity came, it was nice to say thank you, and that's what Rob wanted, was us to actually. So and then obviously there was an opportunity came to bring Cath and our sister company in to actually offer some sponsorship as well. And it's been good because sponsorship, right? We pick up quite a lot of custom in both businesses, which is nice. Don't do it for that. But the people in the club have actually, I'm present now, we're doing work for a member that's in the club. And it's nice to give something back, and I think the Bows Club are being really appreciative as well of what we do, and it's nice as well.
The thing is about being a sponsor is that you've got to be excited about what you're sponsoring. You don't want to be sponsoring something that you're just doing it just to get the name up there. You need to be excited about, and we're excited about the bowls and how good it is about getting the word out there. And the good thing is that the people that you're sponsoring need to be excited about you as well. And people engage with us about our business. You're interested in what we do. So it's a two-way street.
It is, yeah.
And it's very, very important. But it's about that, believing in each other, believing in what you're sponsoring, and the club then believing in us, what we do as well.
I've been involved with lots of junior teams and in different sports. And I've gone to people and asked, can you sponsor the club, whatever it is, rugby, golf, whatever it may be. However, when I look at it, I think when you're asking for some sponsorship, actually you get a name and it's on a shirt or it's on a bit of clothing or it's on a banner or what have you. Normally you don't get a lot back from that, do you? You're not really enriched in financial terms.
No.
However, I see a different thing with business, and I know you haven't taken this opportunity. Well, you have mentioned it the other day to me, but it's an opportunity for you to bring friends or clients of yours to go and have a session bowling free of charge, really, because because of your sponsorship, you can have a day where or an afternoon, we would say, invite a load of your suppliers, your customers, and say, come down with us. We'll have a little bit of fun bowling, and it's an enjoyable sport without the rain. Yeah, it's an enjoyable sport in the summer. We got a lovely setting. Most greens are in a lovely little setting. Got a little bar there. We're lucky. We got some really good facilities. So there is an option to get something back as a sponsor, more than you would sometimes in lots of other sports.
Well, we do a lot of networking as two separate businesses, but we tend to go to events together. We've got a couple this week, and networking is really important to us. Keeping it out there, keeping people focused on us, seeing what other people are doing. But sponsorship as well is about also about building business relationships, because you have other businesses that sponsor the club as well, other people that know other businesses. So it's about building business connections as well. So it's just as important as the networking that we do.
You talk about now, like, bowls is very similar to golf in that respect. You can do quite a bit of business on bowls green.
Amazing.
And you can also make it fun and different, right? And that's, I'm not much of a business person myself, but I did do sport and rec management in college. And one of the big things that is sometimes you've got to make that different. You've got to make it stand out. People will actually remember you. Like, remember those clients we had that took us bowling that one day? They start talking about it, and that's where that name then starts to grow a little bit. It's a great setting, and especially a game to really kind of connect with clients and people that you're trying to network with.
Absolutely, yeah. Because we go to other clubs as well. Obviously, people have got to know the names. They see the sponsorship on the sportswear. And, I often have people from other clubs, we could be in Cardiff, and I say, they'll ask me for advice about cleaning something, just giving people advice. And I think, she knows what she's talking about. And, and then then the next thing I might get a call and say, can we drop a wedding dress to you? So it works, it is good.
So, and I suppose that's a message to businesses, anybody who's got a business out there. And that's, if you've got a local bowls club close to you, it is a good sport to get involved in, isn't it? As a sponsor, to go out there. There's, membership is in lots of, in the cities they're quite high, and people other business people are bowling as well.
You see it on Saturdays, right? Especially for EPG games and some of the clubs we go to. I know you guys come and support and play on Saturdays most weekends, but you see how tight-knit bowls clubs are, and they're always going to be sponsoring or looking after, or at least have shown appreciation to businesses that do end up sponsoring that. You see it all the time when they put their games on Welsh Bowlers Chat. They put pictures of their sponsors up sometimes with them on a separate photo, and stuff like that. So, even though you're sponsoring just a local club, your name's actually spreading quite far.
That's right,
realistic.
And it does get far. Yeah. It's surprising.
Especially last year, we were up in Bargoed and places like that playing, and your name was getting up to Margaret, Merthyr, Cardiff.
That's right. Well, even with the bowls toy, when we went to Cheltenham, the name was out there. So it's getting far and wide.
I mean, a few people say about also our names on the shirts that we sponsored. I've come back and seen Steve, I've seen your name on the bowl shirt. One of the things that'd be good for a bowls club, which I'm going to undertake this project with Cath, is that we're part of a local business club. We'll virtually finalise it. The business is there. We're going to come down on a Friday and have an open evening. Be a lot of business said, the opportunity for the bowls club to actually see if they can get some more sponsorship. So I think it's great. Local networking club, if you go in the area, just invite them to the bowls club.
Okay, and that's a good message out there to bowls clubs. If you find that you've got a local networking club, and there's somebody involved with it in the bowls club, they haven't got to be involved with the business club, but invite them along for a Friday evening, put a bit of food for them.
couple of drinks, you could get some really keen sponsors, and they
Have a
can
little roll
see,
up.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
See when they're like, you might get new members, you probably would.
Yeah.
So
I reckon you would just get that.
I've mentioned it in our network. There's a great opportunity already to the businesses there. We're looking for a local opportunity to sponsor it.
They're really interested, aren't they?
Yeah.
They said that sounds really good. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And you know from that experience of when you went down there, Nick nagged you, when you went down there and played, you know that if you've got 10 people, there's going to be at least 2 or 3, 4 people who are going to love the game.
That's right.
And they're going to say, I want to play more of this. Yeah, because once you play bowls, and unless you played it, you don't realise how difficult it is, but also how much fun it is as
A lot
well.
of skill and very competitive, but really good fun and, you know, good
But
camaraderie.
you obviously got a little bit more skill than your husband. You once.
No comment.
That's probably because I was playing about 4 games a week last year.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
And I'll be doing the same this year.
What we need to do is just
It'd be more that.
check the names on the board, see how many times the names are up on the board.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Well,
It's my family.
He's got 1, I've got 3.
It's a bit like our family, isn't it? Mrs. Reese has got about 3 alive. You go
She's
one,
me.
half of one, and you go one.
He kept telling me, he said, look, my name's up on the board. I was like, I need to do something about
That's
that.
it.
So I got 3 last year, so that was good.
Okay. What I'm going to ask you that without divulging, and I don't want to divulge figures. Yeah, that's something that's personal to you. But you've sponsored the club to quite an extent over the 3 years that you've been there. Yeah, and only from us as people, members of the club, we really appreciate what you do for the club. What sort of things have you sponsored altogether?
Well, over the years?
Yeah, no, with the Bowls Club. I mean,
Oh, right.
Well, what we've done in the Bowls Club,
yeah,
and the kit was the one, and the tops were. We did the towels.
We did the
Yeah.
towel.
we talk about the towers because the towers were really, really good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for people listening or watching,
That's great. the
yeah,
towels,
Cath had got a supplier, and she got a towel for every member
That's right, with the clip. So
with a clip to, if they want to clip on
That's
or
it.
not, or take the clip off. And you put your little logo on, didn't you? You had
That's
it
right.
put onto it, and actually everybody still got them. They love their little purple
They're great.
towels, and
They're
they're
absolutely
great.
great.
Yeah.
You know, they're unique, aren't
We've
they?
also done the last 2 years. We got involved with the Coy Church reunion day against the Ulster. So we sponsored part of that function. Yeah, and that's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just explain that a bit more to people who are listening. So you were heavily involved in coaches cricket in the past.
Yeah.
A number of our members have been previously, they've gone past their cricket days, yeah, and like you have managed to,
You went there?
stay. And every year we have an annual coaches cricket against the Bowls Club Day.
And they take half our team.
And they take half our
What a
team.
day it
Yeah,
is.
but it's a brilliant day.
Brings in a lot of money to
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it
lot
does,
of
and
fun.
it does. It's a fun afternoon. The bar is rammed, and it's
Food is good.
food is good, and it's just good. So
Yeah.
again, that's something else that you do. On top of that,
That's right. The summer house.
the summer house.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
you.
That wasn't being used and it got moved in it to a better location. Needed to be carpeted.
Yeah.
So Steve did that.
Yeah.
Needed some curtains, so I made those and
Yeah.
just made it look.
And it's now the new junior room.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so
It's
it's
absolutely perfect for its
The Roy
purpose.
Martin
Yeah.
Junior Room, yeah. So obviously it was named after Roy. Our junior academy is named after Roy. And you were kind enough to do those things, and we've got a little plaque now
Yeah, that's
that
great.
we've got up on the side there, just saying it was furnished by both of you.
But it's nice to see it being used, you know, that's the good thing about it, because, you know, it's
It
previous
wasn't a bit of a
location.
weird
Yeah,
position before.
yeah, so it's
And we
nice.
put the mat into the front of the shop.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
in
Front of
the shop.
the shop. Front of the-
He's so good.
Yeah,
The
so
front of the club, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I suppose the big one is the one for this year again, isn't it? Because you had your name on the top, and now you're going to put them on the shorts and or trousers.
That's right.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
keep
so-
going this way, we might have to name the Bowls Club after the both of you, man.
We'll have a pavilion then, like a cricket, isn't it? Yeah. The Richmond then.
We'll have like
Yeah.
in Liverpool, they have like the clock
That's
area,
right.
we'll have
That's
we'll have bleachers, and this is the Stephen Cath stand.
That's it.
So you know, when we talk about all those things, that's a substantial amount of money. Yeah, without going in, and I don't know figures, but that is a substantial amount of money. What are the benefits of that for you as a business? What can you? Because I don't understand
Well, my
business.
business for more than a laundrette because we can sell a high end product.
Yeah.
So in terms of it covers virtually what we sponsor, to be honest. Yeah. So in a nice way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the amount of work that comes. The members of the Bowls Club have all been supportive of both businesses.
Really good.
I don't think you'll get it maybe with sponsoring other sporting clubs then, but the Bowls is close knit, as you said earlier.
It is close knit, yeah.
And they know. And the other thing that's good, the Bowls Club promote us really well, right? When you have a presentation up on the screen, and the banners are brilliant. We designed, and then when I can't remember his name. What's his name? Tony.
Richard Tony.
Yeah. He actually positioned them great. That's a great advert.
Yes. Yeah.
So
is there any business benefits that tax? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there any business benefit that
there is a benefit, and there is. I don't want to delve too much, but there is. What we do each year, we set a bit of money aside, which helps them in reducing the tax bill. Yeah. So best to maybe to give it to as a sponsorship than to give it to the hierarchy.
You know what? We're talking openly. We're not doing anything wrong.
No.
Nothing wrong. You what you do is you supported a local group.
Yes.
And you're doing it properly, and you everything's above board. So it's just not.
But it does help against if you're a profitable business. It does help to reduce your tax.
We do a few other things as well, like Lanston Gardening Club. We support those each year.
Yeah.
When they do their big event. Trelawney School, we support them as well.
Off corner. I don't know if every involved. They wanted a new net, and three of us sponsored £3,000 each with the grant money coming in to provide facilities so people could train when the weather was bad. It's an indoor net, but it's outdoors there. And that's what I was so lucky to be privileged to be asked. Yeah. And I'm so proud to see this structure is there now.
Because the other thing I want to cover, I suppose, is you've got your big businesses out there.
Yeah.
Your big businesses who support your big sporting clubs, I suppose, your Swansea Cities or your Cardiff Cities or Ospreys or whoever you are and whatever you do, But the small little sports clubs, we're lucky as a membership. I think we're over 100 members, with men and women, a few more with social members. That's a small club, but you're kind enough to support that small little club. And most bowls clubs out there are a small. They're not a huge club like these big sporting clubs, because they can attract the big money from the big businesses. Yeah. We'd never attract the big businesses to come and support us, but we're lucky that we've got people like yourselves will come and support us the way you do.
That's why we do it, because smaller clubs, a lot of them don't get that funding, and it's a really important part. It's crucial to provide funding for local clubs, for the community, and I made a little note by here actually. Helping to promote sport and healthy lifestyle, because without sponsorship, a lot of clubs wouldn't survive, and it's really, really important for our next generation, especially the kids. I mean, Steve, he does it with refereeing, with the kids on a Sunday. He does that for free because the importance of promoting sport for our future generations, and it's just so important. But this is about getting a community together, keeping things going, keeping it alive, and healthy lifestyles is important.
And we've got quite a vast age group. I mean, always going to be a vast age group. We've got our academy, which we set up last year.
That's right.
We're back into the schools now. Actually, we're going in this Friday. Friday we start the schools for a series of schools. We've got about 9. We've got a good retention figures on the ones we picked up last year are coming back to play. You know, we got our youngest, our little Leah, is 7. And then if we look at our oldest, I think
Might be, well, it's either Arthur or
or
Peter.
No,
Peter Henson.
or actually Linda. I'm not
Could
sure
be
Linda
Linda.
or Eilish. I'm not sure who's the oldest there.
I'm not sure.
So
but,
all of the, we talked a number of people, they're all in their 80s. Yeah. So we've got an age group from 7 to 80 that both of you help.
and that's what we love about it, is because of that. It's such a big range of ages. You know, you're not stuck with one particular group of people. It's right across the range, and it's just really important, you know. And as I said, it's about supporting the community and its development right from a young age right to old age, you know.
You know, I want to dive into a little bit. So let's just put the business aside a little bit, right?
Okay.
Because not only does the business do a benefit from sponsorships, but you two get to live in the sponsorships yourselves as well a little bit, right? Obviously being a part of that club, being a real vital part and playing all the time with the club. You know, you're benefiting personally as well as, you know, from the business a little bit from the sponsorships. You know, like I said, you're keeping a club running that you're a part of.
Yeah.
You get, you know, you're both lucky in a place to be able to support the club in ways that some people can't. And, you know, you're giving back to the club. But, you know, I want to go back and kind of, you know, highlight something you said. You know, you're very passionate about it as well. You know, so personally, you're also benefiting from, you know, that side of it as well, really.
But when I play, I don't think of myself as a sponsor. I'm just a part of a team. You know, I'm part of all the teams.
Yeah,
I play for the men's team, I play for the ladies' team.
I think I was being just one of
I forget I'm a sponsor, you know.
You know, I think
What was that when
It's about being a part of the club as a
But
person.
I think it's important that, and I think you do realise that people do appreciate what you do for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's the same for any other business out there. You know, people will appreciate, certainly within a bowls environment, they will appreciate.
They tell us all
If
the
you've
time.
got a little bit spare cash and you can support a local bowls club, they would be absolutely welcoming open arms, because that's the community that bowls is, isn't it?
That's right.
You know, and it doesn't take a massive amount of a donation. You know, you can donate something simple that will give them shirts for you, you know, or shorts for you, or even something like towels to supply to the players. You know, stuff like that can go a very long way. And I know you guys have stepped up and beyond that for us, which again, you know, I'm sure the club is very thankful for that. But, you know, I'll go back to it, you know, both of you are members to us as well. You know, we look at you as not just sponsors, but you're a vital membership part. You know, how many times we go
they're friends now, aren't they?
They're friends.
Yeah, we're friends.
You know how
We made loads of friends.
I must
It's
say,
brilliant.
as well as you know, we've got involved, and it's nice you have events on and we come and join in, and some for us to go maybe on a Saturday night in the winter, or like you do the New Year's Eve, which we'll be sitting in the house. So the Bowls Club is a community as well, and as well as it offers us something.
We've done a bit more, you know, we've even now, we get in, your daughter Lexi comes down and does a couple of nights singing, and she's brilliant, and you know, I've even tapped you up on the night when you was really
I said yes, I've done it.
for the junior Open Junior tournament this year.
That's no problem.
And again, it's your kindness that just flows out. We should we do some driving questions, Ricky?
You can take ahead for the drive. So, driving questions for those of you that haven't watched podcasts before, or for you two just to tell us, it's our quick fire question segment, right? So it's just simply 5 questions, quick fire, on the spot thinking. Some bowls related, some not bowls related. Nothing too crazy. Don't need to panic with that. But yes, it's just something we'd like to break up the conversation, have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Do you want to take this one?
I don't mind if you want to do it.
You can crack on.
Okay, you don't normally let me do this.
I know, I let you do it.
So, first question. Who's the shrewdest business person out of the two of you? It's a quick fire question.
Oh, it's me.
Mr. Richmond, I totally agree. He's been in business a lot longer than I have.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Second question then. Who's the most romantic of the two of you?
Definitely me.
Well, that is, this is not in my head. I thought they would have been a conference. Okay. The next one then. Who's the best bowler of the two of you? Ooh.
It was even last year, wasn't it? Because I
No.
keep doing the end.
No, it wasn't.
Come on, think back.
It wasn't even.
I'd say we're even. But who knows, we'll have another chat.
Would you think that?
We played a couple of times
I think
last
it's
year.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
We'll have to have a match and
Yeah, we did that. So we played each other.
We used to come down some evenings and just have a little play against each other and tally it up. You beat me once.
Right.
You might change it this year.
Right then. Question 4. If you both had to pick a partner for a pairs competition, who would you pick?
Could be anyone.
In our club now.
Anyone
You know of or in the club. Anyone.
That's an interesting one, isn't
In the club, if our pairs partner, I like Paddy up where would be Neil Bingham, like Neil,
Okay.
he'd be good.
And you would pick?
it? I think I'd probably pick Deb. Yeah.
Peter. So that's a...
Notice they didn't say one of us.
No, and the question was, I thought they would have said each other, but they didn't see each
We
other.
killed each other.
No, we'd kill each other.
We did. We all played in the same team once or twice.
We have.
You told me to shut up once, I remember it. Yeah.
You were talking too much. Yeah.
I was just...
Okay. And then the last question is, who's the craziest out of the both of you?
I say you are.
I probably am. Yeah. Mad
I
sense.
don't follow.
I got a mad sense.
We got
In a
different,
good way.
Yeah.
different sides of craziness. Yeah.
It does rub off on it, but you know, I mean,
We've done some...
We will delve into the story that we did take on Cheltenham, because obviously the people of Bridgend know this, but obviously when Steve was sleeping one day, Cath took a picture of the back of his head because he thought it looked like a face, and Cath then decides, out of nowhere, we're going to make a game of this on tour, prints out a bunch of different eyes and hats, and we had to pin the eyes on the back head of Steve. So I think I agree with that, but I do think, in a good way,
I could not stop laughing, and I had to keep that quiet until the evening that we actually played it. It was like pin the tail on the donkey when it
Well,
burned.
we came up with the idea, didn't we? Because we were outside in a social one day.
Yeah, because I'd done about 5
Lloyd
pictures.
and Meg, I think we were all sitting. It was
Pin the eyes on the back of Steve's head, yeah.
And we
So
did it.
I mean, like the job.
that
It
was
was
fun.
never, it was never one thing we're still friends.
Yeah.
And also ball springs
We
again.
do have a
You
funny
think-
sense of humour.
You know, we've been on tour with the balls, and well, people are having fun even when they get older. They can still.
Yeah.
It's very inclusive, isn't it? That's what I find with the boxes.
So you look at tour, right, that we went on. How many different people went on tour? Like the age difference, the background difference,
so well.
you know, that kind of, and
Totally.
clearly, you know, people who went out on in the night, and people who didn't go out in the night because they obviously were just there for the balls and more of the day social, but none of us felt out of place at all.
No, everyone was welcome, and it was
I
very
think
nicely
balls has got
included.
so much to offer.
Definitely.
The one thing I'm glad of, I found it because being connected to sport for so long, I had this rather panic attack, but at some point I am going to have to stop doing what I do as a body, won't be able to take it. I'm just worried where I was going to go, and now I know where I'm going to go now. So, as well as I'm a great bunch of friends, I've got something to look forward to still on a Saturday, on in the week or whatever. Yeah, so it
We can do it together.
it fills the gap,
That'd
you
be
know.
nice.
Yeah.
You know, that's always something
Yeah.
that, you know, I think both you need to, appreciate that, obviously being a spectator all your life, now you get to play alongside each other.
Yeah, Cath now, like all the years I've come home, she's ready to come home on Saturday.
He's waiting for me now. It's quite funny, yeah.
There's a funny story to go with that, right? Because for years, I've always tried to catch time when there's somewhere to go, and cricket has interfered a lot sometimes with events, we go and do weddings or whatever. But this year, on a wedding anniversary, she was like, make sure you know. So I know it's an important day, and I rushed, and I got home when you were there.
She was on the club.
She was playing it, yeah.
Yeah.
And we booked a table. So I thought,
It was a
do you
competition.
know, after 30 odd years, I thought, wow, this is a revenge time. Right? And the first she came in, I said, how can it be so disrespectful on our anniversary? I really went for it tonight.
You were brilliant.
I did. I said,
Do you know-
couldn't.
Do you understand the pressure? The pressure I was under, right? That last end, and I was like, oh my I meant to be going out, the table's booked for 20 minutes time and finishing that end, hoping that it wasn't a draw, right? Because otherwise we would have had to play another end. And getting home, literally just throwing stuff off, throwing stuff on, and going for that meal.
I had you because I said, well, you used to say, I remember those
1
words.
minute.
I said, I've been sitting here waiting for you to come home.
I was like, oh.
It was a classic.
You know, the underlying story for all that is that this all started because you went down to thinking you were going to just chuck some money at the boat and walk away, and that was it. And it really has. I honestly believe it really has changed your lives to some extent.
Absolutely, because we have two. We have two totally different lots of interests. Like Steve's is all outside and sports related and walking and running and all things. And like mine is in the house. I love cooking, gardening, crafting. So we've always had very separate things, you know. And I suppose I've done a lot of those things to fill in for that time that he's doing those things. But now it's nice because you know, we can actually do things together. We've finally found an interest that we share and we enjoy. No, we do. You know, it's something that we can share.
It's actually on tour together, so I never thought would ever happen. You know, so actually, you know, but like yourself, I've been away on many a trip and we've travelled on tours where I played cricket abroad and you've come along. But a tour we're going together and we both play, although I played for Cheltenham and we've been away.
You want to
I just realised that. But we've been away, you know, but in terms of bowls clubs, you know, just thinking, you know, for opportunities for Bowls Club, I think it's somebody who's involved in Bowls Club who acts as a person who gets sponsorship in. And don't be afraid to ask, You don't ask, you don't get. And there are companies out there, small companies, who probably would like the opportunity. You know, there's an opportunity me and Cath have had, and the benefits it's had. There's opportunities for all Bowls Clubs who, you know, Bowls Club sometimes in terms of sponsorship are a bit down the list. Yeah, but
I think that's because
companies don't know what.
I was going to say, I think that's because companies don't know what bowls is about, and we didn't really know what it was about until
I went to
there.
thank you us all, and I was, you know.
And that from being there, we've learned about how good it is, and how good it is to promote it as well. You know,
both clubs should be offering companies, you know, a chance to come down on an open night, or just to say, hey, listen, you know, if you were willing to sponsor us, we're willing to give, you know, 8 or 10 of you guys a chance of a couple of hours on the green at night. We'll open a bar, that kind of stuff. Come and try it. We'll have a few people there at the same time that might help you out, or kind of just have a, you know, talk to you about what it's all about, what you're sponsoring, why we'd like, you know, the sponsor, what that will go towards. You know, I think, you know, a lot of the times, especially when it comes to sponsorships, if you're open about where that sponsor's going to be going, or if you say, listen, if you're willing to sponsor that much, we'll allow you to kind of guide it, whatever it may be. Companies are more than likely that might say, okay, well, I know where that money is going. I know what that's going to be doing for that little group of bowlers. Yes, absolutely. And they may even say, well, why don't you come down and see what it is doing for us? That kind of stuff. And that's a great way of getting sponsors for any club, really, not just bowling.
Would you say, Steve, you said, well, don't be frightened to ask. Would you think businesses would prefer somebody going to see them, or write into them, or email, or what is the best way of contact?
I get lots of, Richie, every week I got somebody asking us from all types of, from football to jazz bands, hockey, or whatever. There's always somebody asking. I would say, if you've got a little connection with that person, or somebody in that business, then a phone call is always a good way. I had a gentleman approach me, people come to the shops and they're trying to sell you something, and it's me personally, I just said, look, no, thank you, I didn't know what he was. So, I think the phone call is great. Maybe an invite to the Bowls, you know, to the Bowls Club itself, you know. We're all different though, that's the trouble.
We are different, and it's just you know, your thoughts on it, and I suppose for us is like, the other thing is, if the Bowls Club has got somebody who manages all of that sponsorship, but you've got a member who knows somebody. So in the circumstances with you, Rob Sherrard knew you well, and he said, well, do me a favour, and Nick was nagging you for coming down. They're people you knew from previously. So you then had a look at what was going on.
Yeah.
And
halfway in, as I say.
Yeah.
But it's like, we went to a networking meeting 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? 2 weeks ago Friday. And we were telling them about how good it was. We were sort of getting that connection with those people, and saying about, sponsorship and about how good it is, and there's a lot of people really interested in it. So sometimes it's, face-to-face is good.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to introduce now shortly. I've got roughly booked in the beginning of June. We've got at least 20 businesses coming down to the Bowls Club on a Friday to have a bit of a social, but they can see what, we introduce them to bowls. We're going to introduce them to a little bit of sponsorship, maybe for the club. But it may open avenues everywhere.
Yeah.
Those 20 people, as you know.
And they know so many other people, and they will spread the word. And that's what we do as businesses, regarding things.
And it hasn't got to be, them business hasn't got to be all into one club.
No.
Yeah? Because, if you've got 20 people, yes, one club would love to have 20 sponsorships.
Yeah.
But there's only so much that they can do. So you've become probably our main sponsor, and you wouldn't want somebody coming in after you've done all of that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is encouraging people to say, okay, you might want to do just a banner, but if you want to do a bit more, there's other clubs. And I'm not turning money away from our club. I'm saying if all of this business is just to do a little bit for them bowls clubs, they can get lots back.
We've got all the tournaments in those tournaments are all sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're like so
That's right.
Yeah. So there's opportunities everywhere. There's opportunities for businesses, there's opportunities from the Bowls Club, and a lot of people like to give back something local as well. A local business will always help us.
We help other people because people support our business as a local business. It's not a massive national brand, but people know us, and we'd like to give back to people for supporting us.
I think Bowls Club, I know you may see them correctly. I've never seen no Bowls Club ever before me, Cath, on 5,000 business. Nobody's ever from a Bowls Club approached us ever to sponsor them. So.
No, you're right there.
And even now, and I go to different local Bowls Clubs, and you see on a bigger vision when you go about them. But I don't see a lot of sponsorship in some of the Bowls Clubs.
No, there's not.
They're missing facilities. They need things, and we look, when we turn up our kits on, well, we look fantastic.
Yeah.
People do comment about
that transition to when we sponsored the shirts the first time and going to games, and the comments were amazing. They said, wow, that looks really good. We all look really uniform. It looks like, it's a really good team thing.
It's important for, not just sponsoring stuff that makes it look good, but for teams to feel part of the team. I mean, you've known it all your life, right? How kind of rubbish does it feel when all of you turn up to a game in different, or you're wearing different things? You're like, do you really feel part of the team?
It creates
it's a massive deal for
an image, and you walk in, and it's almost like they think, oh wow, they mean business, they want to win today. But it makes you feel that way as well. You feel good.
So the message to Bowls Clubs is going, as opportunities. I don't be afraid to try and run an event and ask local businesses to come and have a look.
Instead of an open day, have an open business day.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Just bring your businesses in.
Yeah, put a birthday on, and it's not at a great expense, and then they'll see the opportunities, and and a lot of business people, they are a little bit older, so you get,
I totally agree with you.
And if they buy into that, they buy into the sponsorship.
Definitely open business day where you get people from doing business. It's a great idea. It's a really good way to get out there.
So I'm going to challenge you both now, because we're probably coming to a short end into the podcast. So, I want you to sum up what life has been like for you as sponsors as a Bowls Club in a sentence. Kind of what is that kind of, if you can think of a sentence to kind of describe the journey of sponsoring
I call our Bowls Club, I call it my happy place, right? Because when I play in the midweek, and I think, well, maybe like a mad day, right? And business isn't easy sometimes, and it is test you mentally, challenging. And I think, I got a game tonight, and when I come there, there's a release, and the release is good. Because I think, oh wow, a nice game of bowls tonight. Take me away from all that. And I call our bowls club my happy place. I've said that a few times now, and in my happy place.
Great.
Yeah.
What about you then, Cath? Someone up in a sentence or two.
What about sponsorship?
Just
Or how
what your journey into the, obviously as a sponsor, what's it been like for you in Bridgend?
I think it's been great because it's given us an opportunity to meet different people, in a different environment. And it's become a really good platform for us, and it gets the word out there. So many people know us, our businesses through the bowls. But we've also, it's enabled us to create some really, really good friendships as well. The whole thing is great. Yeah. It's really, really good. It's worth doing.
Yeah. Well, I think we've probably come to a natural end here, and can I just say to both of you, thank you so much. First of all, for what you do for our club, and really thank you for coming on this podcast. And hopefully there's some people out there, some businesses who will think, maybe I'll have a little look at the bowls club, my local bowls club, and I might be able to just put a bit of money their way for something small. So from us, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thanks.